Castlevania 3, the beginning of level 7. Deep sigh from me. This is another video that I seriously considered not subjecting the internet to, but decided later that the internet can handle pretty much anything. And I'm pretty committed to showing the internet, the royal internet, all of my failures, in addition to my successes with this game. So the whole playthrough will be on YouTube, and will probably have me talking about it, but I'll maybe try to warn you, the videos that I don't make any progress. That's a warning on this video, I don't make any progress. You just see a lot of frustrating deaths, and here they come. First checkpoint, that was easy. Now we get to the real awful stuff. So we have breaking platforms here, and I was just in a hurry. But because I crossed that door there, we're now on 7 block 2. So that's going to be my starting point for the next little bit. I hope you're ready. Trying to get my whip upgrade here, that's why I'm not hurrying through that door. Now I've got it. 7 block 3. Look at that. Here we go. So now I'm waiting for the drippies to erode away the blocks. Reading more about this game and this level design. Anytime that you're forced to just wait, generally is kind of a cop-out level design thing. Adding this is a unique feature of this level of eroding blocks and having to dodge those corrosive drips from the top. But anytime that you have to just stand around and wait, it becomes kind of a useless waste of time in there, without a lot of challenge, just standing around and waiting. Now, coming up, we have standing around and waiting that becomes ridiculous challenge that one doesn't want to do again. That makes one want to start the game over and take a different path through, which in most games you don't have the option. In this game you do. So I've got to wait for the blocks to stack up till I can get to that platform on the upper left, while avoiding falling blocks and those flying guys in those arcs, all using Trevor, who is not very agile with his jumps. And I can only take a few hits from the blocks or the flying guys before I'm dead. So there we don't quite get to it, and the next several times we're not going to quite get to it. This has been, just playing these games, I'm going to talk about something else because this is just awful to watch. Playing these games has been really cool recently for me as a pastime and a hobby, and doing this blog in general, because one of my other pastimes I've had to put a hold on in moving time, and that's my home brewing hobby. Last April of 2012, I did my first few batches after a couple of tries on things, and I started getting into it a little bit more. And I have made several batches of different things, beer and my apple drank stuff, and I had some when I was making the video the other night, and I may need some just to get through the rest of these levels here today. Another one. But because we're going to be moving soon, I've got this big inventory of homemade booze, and I can't make any more. Going up to it, I have lots of bottles of beer and wine, and some weird fermented rum stuff, and some cola, some non-alcoholic soda that's naturally carbonated with yeast and sugar, which is pretty cool stuff. It's very tasty. But I've got this big inventory built up, and I don't want to spend the money or the time right now making more that I'm going to have to just give away at the end. Now that probably makes my friends and family sad that I won't have a bunch of homemade delicious beer to have to give them when it comes time to move. But I have to be a little selfish on this one, and just put that on hold. I do have someone who's going to hold on to my brewing equipment for me while we're gone. So that makes me feel good that my investment there will have a home and someone will be able to use it. Although my brewing techniques have been not using a lot of toys and equipment. I try to do it on as tight a budget as I can, both in ingredients and in equipment. Now, I know that makes my product a little bit of less quality than some homebrewing things, but and it means I have to do a little bit more work because of some of the equipment things. That doesn't bother me at all. I don't mind adding a little bit of sugar to a batch. I know some people get really upset if all of your fermentables don't come from grain. Almost made the jump there. Should we almost get up to that next level? Once you make that jump into the all grain and not using any sugar, and if you're not a brewer, this might not be relevant to you, but using some sugar helps boost up your fermentables, which boosts up your alcohol content. Not to ridiculous levels, but it will get more of your beer up to about the 5% mark, where most commercial beers are, without having to spend too much money on more grain sugars or grain material. You can buy it in syrup or in a powder, but it's a lot more expensive than is sugar. And if you don't use sugar to boost that up, your beer can come out on the low side in the 3-ish%. Almost got knocked up by the block there. In the 3-4-ish%, which it will taste fine, but it will seem kind of thin. A lot of people when I talk about home brewing, they go, "Oh yeah, you just do that just to get hammered, just to get plowed, you know, make some hillbilly moonshine stuff." And that's possible, and I certainly have made real high gravity stuff, but I've not made it just to get hammered or wasted. When I make something that's got a high alcohol content, I do it because that's a style that I want to use, and I like to enjoy it accordingly. I made some apple stuff that ended up coming up to 15.5% alcohol, which is a little bit stronger than most commercial wines, which are generally about 12%. Champagnes get up to about 12.5% ish. This came out higher than that, and it was still quite sweet. So it had the nice sharp burn of the high alcohol content, and a lot of sugar left in it because the yeast just frankly could not get it up past that 15. They just died in their own alcohol because, right, we use alcohol as an antiseptic to disinfect and kill microbes. Yeast are, no different than that. They have different tolerances of how much alcohol they can handle. But this stuff is quite good, and I usually have it with ice. Or I will mix in like some orange juice, and I found that the high gravity apple juice mixed with orange juice is really good. Or I can make them carbonated in the bottles. Look at this. I make it to the next screen, but there's no door. So if I die here, and I will, I get to go back to the blocks. Got 3 health units left. I've got stairs with a blob and a skeleton waiting for me at the top. The suspense is building. And he does not make it.